The next thing that I want to discuss is the law of attraction. This is a humongous topic, but I think it is pretty much all, like, it's everything. How we talk to ourselves, how we view things, we are sending signals out into the outside world of what we want to attract. So if we're constantly, as far as, let's say we're barrel racers, I had the experience of, self-sabotage, always struggling, always failing. And I told myself that. I said, I'm always struggling, I'm always failing, I'm always knocking, I'm doing this, I'm doing this. And I was constantly focused on what I didn't want to happen. So I don't want to make this all about me because this is your exercise, but I just want you to take a moment to write down the things you tell yourself. And this can be a journal exercise in the evening, but just try to write down your thoughts. Write down some of your thoughts throughout your day and just be like, why am I drifting to a negative thing? Why am I telling myself what I don't want to happen? And I want you to start bringing awareness to all those moments that you catch yourself thinking about what you don't want to happen. Such as, example, again, you go to a race, you're like, oh, I really hope I don't knock. And if you have that in your head, what do you think is going to happen? You're telling yourself, you're telling the universe, I don't want to knock, but the universe doesn't know. It just hears knocking. It hears the word, we're knocking a barrel. Even though you're saying, I don't want to do it, but you're telling the universe that's what's going to happen. Like, that's what you're feeding out into the world. And it's really hard to clear it up, to really be clear on and feeling yourself when you do that of, I want this to happen. The law of attraction tells me I need to be saying more of the things I want to happen. And it can be really hard because our brain's programmed to be like, oh no, this is what we know, this is our familiar, this is it's like our default is to think of the negative. This is the experiment, is throughout your day, try to bring awareness to your thoughts. And whenever you find your thoughts drifting, going crazy, saying about all the things you don't want to happen, try to stop them and flip the narrative, change it. Say, this is what I want to happen, and keep rehearsing what you want it to be. What do you want your ideal race to be? I think earlier I did say for the introduction, if you haven't checked that out, please go do your intro. I asked, what was your ideal competition day? The reason I asked that is I want you to start feeling and believing and breathing that into existence. What would your ideal competition day look like? Don't think what you don't want it to look like. Don't think of all the things you don't want it to be. Start writing down, what do you want it to be? What do you want your life to be? What do you want your relationship with your horse to be? What do you want the relationship with yourself to be? The thing is, when you actually think it and believe it, you can start creating it. So you have to see it, envision it, believe that envision. And that's also hard because you're like, I don't think so. Like, that's never happened before. But again, it has that faith. The faith has to come, and that comes from our heart. We have to see, we have to believe, and then we have to do it. And we need those three things in order to actually get what we want. So this exercise is going to be a big one, but it's a continuous one as well. And it's something that if we want to change our lives and make adjustments in our lives, big or small, the intention and the awareness of our thoughts and the things we want to be creating into the reality starts with this and starts just with the awareness. So enjoy that. Just do it as often as you can. Journal any chance you get. We'll talk more about journaling below, just some good practices for that. But for now, law of attraction style, start telling yourself what you want to happen, and let's move on.